Learned a little lesson today. Has some spare Windex hanging around. Don't use it to clean your shield. Here we are. This is the second KRA race now that Indiana's lightened the restrictions. Shut up, Garrett. Gosh dang it, Garrett. Now I gotta redo this whole thing. Garrett. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, it's early, but it's already very sunny. Actually, it was so sunny that that's what woke me up right when it came up at like 5:30 or 6 or whatever. So, as usual, the night before race, Ben gets no sleep again. But I'm used to it now. Wouldn't have it any other way. But yeah, we're excited. KRA 2. Let's get it going. I just use this as a baseball bat. You guys wouldn't know that. All you saw was the... Nobody out here has more white than me on today. I've got the abolished sleevery shirt, I got white shorts, and then my skin is a nice shade of fluorescent white as well. I mean, honestly, where does the shirt end, where does my skin begin? Who knows?
I know those.
Story of my life, but that's why I'm out here, to get a base burn for the summer, which will just continue to burn throughout the entire summer. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for those super awesome jeans. I mean, I'd be a Calvin Klein model if I was tan. I'd like to go on record and say that right now. Or R.I.P. my modeling career.
Dad had an incident on track. Spindle. Not supposed to be curved like that. So he's taking it off. We're going to try to straighten it because we don't have a replacement. Dad, what happened out there? Driver error. This is like the most dad thing to do. Use your cart as a cigar holder. It's been a tough start to the day today. I don't know, I wasn't really that fast. I was scrubbing in some new tires, so hopefully that was it, but we'll see. And then Dad is even worse off than me here. And that actually looks better than what it did. Had a little on-track incident, so he's getting ready to... Our pal Bill brought over a vise, so we're gonna try to squish it. Look at that squish. Look at that squish, Dad. You're gonna be back on track in no time.
I don't know, there's a little bit there. Maybe if I took the hub off, I could...
You mean that little twist to it?
Yeah,
it's got a little twist.
It's gonna get any better than that, do you?
Dad, I can tell you that with the options that you have, I'd run that. Had one of those race deals. Dropped my right tire after the checkered flag had flown. Was just trying to work on my entry into the hairpin, and showed I need work because I dropped a tire in the grass just as I was turning in, and the whole thing just spun right around. And had a good friend of mine, Bill, no place for him to go. He hit my front wheel. We bent the spindle, and he brought down his vise. You know, the guy that I wrecked and damaged, he comes to my rescue, so I really appreciate Bill for that. And we got it straightened out. Spindle looks really good, but after we were all done and thrashing for 45 minutes, found out that the steering column's bent as well, and so it's bowed back, and that's going to be it for a day. You know what, thank Bill, thank my boys. They both offered up their carts, and just didn't feel right about doing that since I raced first. And heck, I can't keep the cart on the track in practice after the checkered flag, so I'm afraid I'd mess one of theirs up, and they both want to race here. I want them to race more than they want to race. So you know, it's one of those things. Didn't go like I wished, but It's going to kill me to watch him go out there, but what a beautiful day. And so there's people with bigger problems. We'll come back in 2 weeks and go get them. We just pulled Dad's steering column out where it also got bent and has been the reason he's not qualified, but we're going to see if we can straighten it out in time for the race. Our friend Bill came to the rescue again with his vise, got it straightened out. So we're gonna try to install this, see if we get Dad to start from the back of the grid. The straightening on this steering column was professional grade, courtesy of a vise and a sledgehammer. Just walloped it. Dad, I think we've done it. Yeah, a couple extra parts there. I wouldn't worry about those. Just washer, lock nut. Well, I just officially re-entered the race. You know, you give a racing team a vise and a sledgehammer and there's nothing they can't fix, I guess. I'll be starting last. It's not the first time I've started last, but I've never looked more forward to starting last than I am this time, so we'll see. It should be fun. Kart drove straight, at least on the 30-foot test run we gave it, so we'll make sure everything's bolted down tight and hopefully push that thing right up to number 1.
CIK qualifying just ended for me. I'm 7th, and it's so frustrating. I should have been on pole by probably 3 or 4 tenths.
You were on the board at one point. You were third.
Stupid. It's my own fault, man. I'm an idiot. I don't know.
You're 7 and
I should have just let the group.
I
I should have just let the group.
I didn't see you out there.
An 18.8 is the full speed. That's slower than any single practice session I've run all week. I was telling Mom after the fact that the pole speed was like a 1:18.7, which is, I've been running faster than that for the whole weekend and just made mistakes. I should have just led the group I was in, but you know, hindsight's 20/20.
So I'm in 17th for my first race, which is CIK, and 14th in Sportsman. Things didn't go my way in qualifying. For Sportsman, it was my fault, and then for the other one, just unfortunate circumstances. It's just disappointing. But I'll have to just race from there and then see if I can make up some spots. How many times after qualifying is the guy that's starting in the back of the field the happiest? You heard those two. Neither one of them happy with their qualifying. I'm pretty happy to be starting 35th, so we'll see how we go. So I was pretty excited, got the kart reasonably straightened out, started 35th, and was looking to be aggressive off the start. I didn't have to be. There was a melee in front of me. I made up a lot of spots and I was thinking, man, this is great. Things are going just like I want them to. You know, I don't want to see anybody wreck, but it was helping me, and I'll just be aggressive. And then, you know, it just seemed like the kart was good, but it wasn't overly fast the rest of the way. I was faster than some people, but not enough faster than to get around them. When I looked at my lap times, you know, they were okay, but just not as racy as I wanted it to be. So I'm gonna have to blame the driver. I tell you what, the kart felt straight. If I didn't know it, I wouldn't buy any parts for next time, but I will. And you know, we'll see. It wasn't the type of thing where I felt like I was slow because I wasn't entering or exiting well because of the cart. It seemed like more driver. Maybe I didn't have the right gear or something, but it was good. I finished 25th. It was Memorial Day. Got to race after a time when I didn't think I was going to, so we'll call it a victory.
Do a cartwheel. Wait. Oh, the bike.
All right, guys, the CIK pause. My face, it feels very red. Is it red? CIK race just ended. I started 6th. I thought I was gonna start 7th. We were wrong. I qualified 6th. It was a fine race, you know. After the race is over, one of the people that was like at the scales was like, "Hey, you set fast lap." It doesn't mean a whole lot. I wound up finishing 4th. I just didn't have that exit speed, and I think part of it was gear. I think the 2 kids in front of me might have been geared a fuzz higher than I was, but just I think I'm just putting too much emphasis on my entry, and it's obviously costing me exit, which is huge on these long straights. So I think that's something that I definitely need to work on. And then also the setup is weird. Like at different points in the race, I was like, man, I needed to be like, I needed more grip. And then other times it's like, I need less grip. So we're still figuring out the new tires, the new chassis. There's just so much that we need to practice. 4th place is solid. I'm very happy with it. Just to keep the consistency going. But I know that there was more on the table that just as a driver and tuner, I left. But it was a fun race, good clean race with those guys. This top 4 just kind of broke away from the pack, and unfortunately I wasn't as big of a factor as I would have liked to have been, but it's a long season and I'll figure this cart out. It's just gotta take a little bit of time. Happy with 4th.
Well, that's the end of my first race. I started 18th in that one, and it was a fantastic start. I mean, I was up probably 6 spots, I'd have to guess. Through the first 4 corners. And then things took a turn, literally, at turn 5. We were going 3 wide, which, you know, that's not a good idea in the first place. And then carts got squirrely and up into me and shoved me off. That was it. I mean, I was way off. I had to push the cart back on and start it. So I was half a lap behind the field. So my race will look cool for the first 5 corners, and then that'll be the last of it. For this next race, I've made some changes to the cart. I wasn't loving it, and so I've made some changes with the help of Dad and Ben. You know, I'm starting 14th in this one, so it's not gonna hurt. So we'll see what happens.
We moved a weight off the front of his cart and moved it to his seat. We widened the rear. We changed his gear.
Did you tighten my motor mount?
didn't tie to his motor mount, so
Out there.
just more highlight. Oh yeah.
Where did
So I'm starting 14th in this race. Made some wholesale changes.
to the front?
If I'm bad, it's his fault. If I do good, I agreed to the changes and it's all me. Second race. All those changes made to the cart. Take to the track, have garbage thrown at me.
Trash.
And it was not to be. Cart actually felt good in those few corners that I had.
Can you say that again for the people in the back?
I agreed, the changes I agreed to, my decision, worked out well, I think, but it didn't last long because I didn't have any power. I chewed through my rear sprocket. In fact, I'll show you my rear sprocket. It's supposed to have teeth. It doesn't have teeth. And so something went awry. And I pulled it in after 2 laps maybe. You know what? It's still fun, right? That's what I try to focus on. It's frustrating to not have good finishes, but it's just fun. So on to the next, and hopefully better things.
This is the sportsman race. Watching Case. Oh wait! What happened?
I made it a lap. Maybe
And
two.
I
Maybe
think it
two.
was 2.
Oh, had we not had those 3 false starts, you know, I would have made it half the race.
Oh, for sure.
Nah, I went through a rear sprocket.
Are you noticing anything on
It was just spinning on the sprocket.
All right, as you can see, we are just about ready to go, all loaded up. Kind of a disappointing weekend for the Stahl Racing crew, unfortunately. Dad, due to his error in practice, had some bent up stuff, but we got him out there for the race, and honestly did pretty good. So we'll get him all taken care of by the next one. And Casey had probably the most disappointing and frustrating day just due to all the errors he had. I had the least disappointing day, but in my own mind, as bad as it sounds, coming from a guy who finished 4th, I was also disappointed because I'm playing for wins now, you know, and I know there's a lot more that I could have done better today. But good thing is we've got a little bit of time. We got a couple weeks before our next race, so we'll get everything hopefully sorted out and then get a test day before our next race. And I don't know, hopefully I have some answers and some better finishes for you guys, because you guys deserve it. But until next time, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks, guys.